Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about the really exciting brand new stat blocks we got. Today we're going to talk about Simon Aumar. And Simon Aumar is an exciting new character. He is a medium humanoid sorcerer. So we do know his class, and he is a medium humanoid sorcerer, and he is specifically within Edgin Darvis's adventuring team. So he is a sorcerer, and there is some and his stat block is coming out of the most historical event that has happened on D&D Beyond to this point, the most important content that's ever been released on D&D Beyond, because it establishes a whole lot of things for Dungeons and Dragons. But let's talk about Simon Aumar specifically. And so this comes from the D&D Beyond. It's the only place you can get it. You cannot get it anywhere else. If you, let's say you were connected to just some absolute monster humans in January 2023 that told you it'd be a good idea to delete your account, then you're not going to have access to this, right? So like everybody who allied with the D&D Begoners in January 2023 don't have access to this. It's an immediate punishment for allying with the wrong people, right? We choose our allies carefully, right? And we should be choosing people who stand for inclusion rather than people who stand for exclusion. Anybody who you ever stand next to who says that a thing should be gone, it shouldn't exist, that's a good clue. You're standing in the wrong line, right? You're standing with the wrong crowd, right? Anybody, if you ever find yourself saying that made creators aren't as good as born creators, you're standing in the wrong crowd. Maybe you shouldn't be with the OSR because they stand for exclusion, right? And Dungeons and Dragons stands for inclusion, in my humble opinion, right? So if you were wise enough to keep your D&D Beyond count, you have access to the most historic information that's been dropping on D&D Beyond ever, right? And that is the stat blocks for the brand new heroes within Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, released on D&D Beyond under the Thieves Gallery content block, right? A content column, right? It's a page, it's a scrolling page, right? And it's interesting because a D&D canon hardback is a unit. We know what it is, right? But like Vecna's entry, right? Thieves Gallery entry, right? These are historic moments. And what's really interesting is I claim that on D&D Beyond, so I have it, right? But if you come in 3 months from now, you might not be able to claim it, right? It's a really interesting new view of ownership that's happening on D&D Beyond. And the reality is, what's canon and what matters in D&D that's the other thing is Dungeons and Dragons. This is really funny. Somebody in the comments was saying about, oh, Scott, you should get the PDF for Shadow Dark, right? So that you could review it. And I just kind of laughed. I'll tell you right now, every single product on Drive-Thru RPG, amateur hour. Just the most rank amateur hour nonsense, right? Like the material we're seeing on D&D Beyond, these stat blocks, interlinked, cells interlinked, right? All interlinked, all connecting to all the spells, and each one of these blocks, all of the important words linked, so you can just hover over and see exactly what is being talked about, right? That's a real modern product, and this is why I'm just so on with D&D, is that it's a professional product. It doesn't look like if you're kickstartering Shadow Dark, right? It has absolutely no equivalent to D&D Beyond. Nothing, right? You're gonna get an amateur hour PDF, right? And it like the government would send you for a tax form, right? And the point is, and this is my entire point, is we're out of the Kumbaya Garden and we are in contested ground, right? D&D is trying to keep as many people on D&D as possible because numbers matter. And OSR is finally acknowledging that standing, that watching from the corner is not good. Watching from the corner and pointing and laughing and making claims and never delivering isn't enough, right? And I really think that's why you're getting this huge coalescing of the OSR behind Shadow Dark, because Shadow Dark does genuinely have the possibility of leaving every OSR product in the dirt, right, behind, and becoming the premier product of the OSR. And I have to say it, something real for the OSR. Every single thing they have has already been stunt dusted by Dungeons and Dragons, right? But here, Shadow Dark is coming out, and it has the possibility. But here's the other thing is, right, like, if it's gonna compete, PDF ain't gonna cut it, right? Like, basically, D&D is like, Dungeons and Dragons is like, a product is 256 pages long, full colors all throughout, great writing, great arting, great layout, and you don't have to be a nostalgic grognard to enjoy it, right? That's the quality standard. And in addition to that, PDF is now junk. You release your content on a PDF, it looks like utter crap amateur hour junk compared to Dungeons & Dragons. And I just want to say, like, D&D Beyond, right? This is Justice Smith, right? Like, we have Michelle Rodriguez, we have Sophia Lillis, we have Chris Pine. These are multi-billion-dollar actors, with billions of dollars of Hollywood money behind them, and their images are on D&D Beyond. Who's the celebrity that's in Shadow Dark RPG? Not even Paul. Not even no one. Right? Like, no one. There's no pictures of celebrities in Shadow Dark RPG, right? Like, and the OSR is going to pretend, well, that doesn't matter. It does matter, right? Like it's a really big deal, right? So all right. And the reason why I'm talking about this is this is really important. And when I say it's important, just turn right, turn left. You will find every single person that was covering the OGL crisis, a month ago, is commenting and is giving their take on D&D right now, because nothing happening in the OSR except Shadow Dark RPG matters right now. And D&D did a thing, and here we are. Everybody's talking about it. Let's talk about Simon Aumar. Oh my gosh, is this exciting. So we have Simon Aumar, and his picture in D&D Beyond is Justice Smith, who is the gentleman who starred in the $500 million blockbuster Pokemon Detective. Okay, live action, the first and only live action Pokemon movie, right? So he is a major star. He is building a major career. I watched him in the Come Up, which is very good. I enjoyed it. Actually, I think I have some coverage on this channel for that. In context of Dungeons and Dragons, no less. And it's really exciting. And also, he is a new up-and-coming Hollywood star, right? And he is actually, the exciting thing is, he is going to bring energy to Dungeons and Dragons, but Dungeons and Dragons can bring energy to his career. There's a distinct possibility that by the end of the weekend on Dungeons and Dragons, we could be looking at not just a successful franchise, but a successful Dungeons and Dragons cinematic universe, right? Not a trilogy. I'm talking 10 years, 30, 40 films, right? With single character arcs and multi-character arcs for meeting. You're like, wait, multi-character arcs for people meeting? What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons stars coming from different settings, right? Okay, so let's talk about Simon Aumar. Simon Aumar is a medium humanoid sorcerer. He is in Edgin Darvis's group, and he is the direct descendant of Elminster Aumar. He is the direct descendant of Elminster. He is the direct descendant of Elminster. He is the direct descendant of Elminster. You heard that right? Like, they are pulling out all the plugs for this thing. And what I'm really excited about is they seem like they're doing it in the correct way, right? Because, like, I'll tell you right now, if I made the Dungeons & Dragons movie, because I love Dungeons & Dragons, in the first trailer, he would have said, I'm the direct descendant of Elminster. And then every D&D fan would have gotten really excited because everybody knows who Elminster is. Elminster is Dungeons & Dragons Gandalf, right? He is the throwdown, show up, everybody bow, right? Wizard of Forgotten Realms, right? Ed Greenwood's Major Mac, right? And so, like, that's who Elminster is. And what I think is really interesting is, so you have all this going. So this is Elminster's great grandson, right? That's a pretty big freaking deal, right? And what I think is really exciting is we are going to get to see Elminster's great grandson throw down in D&D Honor Among Thieves. And get this, get hyped, right? Because we know we can be excited about this. We know there's going to be a lot there. We know this is going to get awesome and this is going to get cool. And the reason we know all this is coming and that all of this is going to be amazing is because of D&D Beyond, right? D&D Beyond is saying, hey, this is important. Get hyped, get excited. And D&D Beyond is like, we are going to red carpet you to the film, right? And when you arrive at the film, you are going to be rewarded because you are a Dungeons & Dragons fan. You know who Elminster is, right? Your aunt doesn't. She's going to go to the movie with you. She ain't going to know what's happening. But when Elminster's great grandson shows up on the screen, there's going to be a little bit of extra energy in your whoop, right? And this is the thing. And last year I was like, they paid $150 million for D&D Beyond. This is why they did it. So they don't have to look like a scrub like company saying, here's your PDF. Just like it's the same thing you get your W-2 on, right? Like, they're like, no, this is a $150 million platform that we will use every single day so that when you arrive at the second American blockbuster for Dungeons & Dragons, you are receiving an experience that anyone who had the foolishness to turn away from D&D Beyond will not get, right? And so this is another thing, right? What do you get for $150 million? Joy. I'm going to have more joy watching the movie. You're going to have more joy watching the movie. And everybody who listened to all those sad sack suckers who said, D&D be gone, and said, delete your account and subscribe, they all look like fools now because everybody's rushing back to get their account so they can talk about the biggest historical event that's happening in Dungeons & Dragons in 2023 and perhaps in the last 20 years, right? Because this is a Dungeons & Dragons digital platform building awesome into a special film and red carpeting everybody who's a true D&D fan. And every true D&D betrayer, they can go kick rocks, right? And they're being punished now for turning their face away from Gary, right? And that's the point is, right? Do you know who Elminster is? If you care about Gary's legacy, you do, right? But if you don't care about Gary's legacy and you push delete on your account and you digitally burned every book you had ever bought on there, right? Now you're being punished for it, right? Because this is a red carpet to the film. It's incredible. Simon Aumar is the great grandson of Elminster. That is amazing. I cannot wait to see this movie, and I can't wait to see you there. All right, let's get to it, man. This is exciting. This is why they spent $150 million on D&D Beyond, to make our experience better. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.